So many people make the mistake of overcomplicating what it actually takes to scale a successful agency, and I'm about to simply break down in this video what it actually takes. Okay, it's not as complicated as people make it out to be, and I'm about to prove it. Okay, and if you want to get through this video quickly and save time, put the video in 2x speed. So I see too many people focusing on the wrong things and overcomplicating what it actually takes to scale a successful online service business. Scaling an online service business is very straightforward and simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. Okay, but it is simple. The first thing you need to do is get attention. That is the cornerstone of the business. That should be your priority every single day. It doesn't matter what you sell, what systems you set up, or which CRM you use. If nobody knows who you are, if nobody knows who you are, then nothing else matters. Okay, literally. So getting attention on you and your offer should be at the top of your mind every single way. And there's two main ways of getting attention: paid and organic. And so how do you choose between the two? Well, I'm about to break it down. First thing, the two factors is what are your goals and what resources do you have at your disposal? Okay, so I'm going to go through the goals first. One of the biggest life hacks I would say that I discovered was learning the art of reverse engineering your goals. Reverse engineering your goals is the most powerful way you can get clarity on the inputs needed to achieve them. And here's how it works. So let's say you're selling something for 10K, for example. If you're selling an AI infrastructure offer, which you can definitely sell for upwards of 10K. If you want to learn how to do that, first link in the description. Join the AI Scaling Specialist School community completely for free. But let's say whatever you're selling, let's say you're selling it for a 10K price point. Okay, and let's say you have a goal of hitting 30K revenue. Okay, you want to reverse engineer that goal to see what are the inputs needed to achieve it. Okay, never focus on the actual output or the actual goal. Focus on achieving the inputs every day to reach that goal. And here's how you can do it. So let's say for the sake of the scenario, our revenue goal is 30K. The first thing we have to ask ourselves is how many closes, how many people, how many deals do we need to close in order to hit this number right here? Okay, and if we're selling something for $10,000, that means we need to simply close 3 people in order to hit this goal. Now we go down the line, okay, because we need to reverse engineer all the inputs needed. And so if we need to close 3 deals, how many people do we need to show up on the call in order to be able to close 3 deals? Well, first we need to take a look at what is our close rate. What is, out of everyone that hops on a call with us, what percentage of people are we closing? And in this instance, we're making up a number. Let's just say it's the average of 20%, which is decently average across different industries. So if you're closing 20% of everyone that hops on a call with you, you need 15 people to show up on a call in order to close 3 deals. But how do we get 15 people to show up on a call with us? First, we have to take a look at our show up rate. For this instance, we're going to use 40%. I would say that's a little below average. Maybe average is around 45, 50, maybe a little higher if you're warming them up with content, if you have a personal brand, a bunch of factors. But in this instance, if your show up rate is 40%, to get 15 people to show up on a call, you need to book 38 calls. But how do we book 38 calls? We go down the line. So, in this instance, we're going to use a metric called the lead to booking ratio. So for every lead that comes in, what percentage of them book a call? And this metric, it's a lot of other smaller metrics in between it, but for the sake of the scenario, to simplify it, we're just going to use a lead to booking ratio. So, or lead to booking percentage. So, let's say for every lead that comes in, 10% of them book calls. And so how many leads do we need to book 38 calls? The answer is 380 leads. And then we go down the line. How do we get 380 leads? In this instance, we're going to use conversion rate. So if you're driving your traffic from, let's say, YouTube video or from ads to some sort of web page or some sort of community where, people have to opt in or they have to apply to join, then we're going to ask how, out of all the people that are visiting your website, what percentage of them are converting into actual members, into actual leads? Well, in this instance, if we want 380 leads and our conversion rate is 25%, then we need 1,520 visitors to get 380 leads. And so now we have to go down the line one more time. How do we get 15, 20 visitors on our website, in our community, or, to look at our community? Well, first we look at the click-through rate. So if we're creating content or running ads, how many people are actually clicking on it? So if that's 4%, which I'd say is a little above average, maybe average depending on different industries, or, if you're creating content or running ads, whatever you're doing. If we have a 4% click-through rate and we need to get 1,500 visitors, how many eyeballs do we need on the actual content? It's 38,000 eyeballs, depending on what your click-through rate is. Okay, so this is just an example. These are mostly fake numbers, just for the average numbers across different industries. But I hope you see the purpose of this. So we look at what our price point is, and then we take a look at our goal, and we simply reverse engineer all the inputs needed to make this goal happen. So the first thing you should be focusing on is how do you get 38,000 eyeballs on your business. Okay, so from here you have to get creative. Are you gonna allocate money towards paid ads? You're gonna allocate time towards creating free content, build a personal brand. It varies. Okay, it varies on where you're at in your business journey and what resources you have at your disposal. And so instead of focusing on this right here, if you want to hit this goal, you need to focus on this. Okay, and so you need to reverse engineer the outputs to see what are the inputs needed to achieve it, and that is how you achieve your goals. Get clear on what are the inputs needed and be viciously execute the inputs needed to achieve the output. Okay, it's very simple and straightforward, but it's not easy. You need to be consistent and you need to put in the work. And so the next thing you need to consider when it comes to choosing your strategy is what are the resources you have at your disposal. When it comes to choosing a strategy, identifying the resources at your disposal is absolutely crucial because everyone is at a different stage in their life, in their business journey, and we all have different resources at our disposal. Okay, and so the first thing is money. Do you have capital to allocate towards your business, towards marketing, towards scaling? The next thing is time. You might not have, let's say for example, you're someone who's in the beginning of their business journey. You might not have a lot of money, but you might have a lot of time to allocate towards, let's say, creating content or learning how to run ads or learning a skill. Okay, do you have money? Do you have time? Do you have a personal brand? Okay, this is one of the probably the biggest, most beneficial asset you can own as a business owner. Do you have a personal brand? Are you an authority figure in a specific market? Do people know who you are? Okay, this is definitely a resource and one of the biggest resources, the most beneficial resources that gives you an upper hand advantage in any given market. Okay, and then you have other assets. Do you have employees? Do you have, that sort of things? Okay, and so you want to look at your resources and you want to take a look at your goals and you want to consider both factors and, create a concise strategy plan. Once you've identified the inputs needed to achieve your goals, what type of resources do you want to allocate towards achieving those goals and doing those inputs needed to achieve them. Okay, and so what are the two general best ways of getting attention? I'm just going to be straightforward with you. It's creating content and running ads. Okay. The reason why I say both is because you need to have a long-term and a short-term strategy. Content, it compounds over time. You build in the beginning, it might be a little slow, but most people give up, in a month or two after they don't see any growth or after they don't get 1 million views on their first video. The reason why content is so good is because you're building an audience that compounds over time. It multiplies onto itself. So if you stick with it for, let's say, 3, 6, 9, 12, a year, 2 years, if you stick with it and post a video, let's say 2 to 3 times a week, you're gonna have an audience that compounded over time, that trusts you, that knows who you are, that views you as an authority figure. The difference between creating content and running ads is when you're running ads or doing outreach or any sort of direct response marketing, people view you as a salesy marketer, not an authority figure. Okay, so you want to provide value to your audience. You want to be viewed as somebody trying to help them, somebody that's an authority figure, not someone who's just trying to sell them something as a salesy marketer. Okay, so content is a long-term strategy. It does take time to build your audience, and the reason why I have ads here is because ads is quick. Okay, it's quick and predictable. If you can create a good creative that gets a good cost per lead in a good market, good cost per book call, then you can just scale that thing up. It's literally a money printer. You put an XYZ amount of money into it, and you know how much you're gonna get out. Okay, once you've calculated all your metrics and your cost to acquire a client and all that good stuff. But so you want to create content, build your personal brand as your long-term strategy, and run ads as a short-term strategy, because you need to pay the bills, you need to get food on the table, and running ads will help you do that in the meantime. Okay, and why are these two the best? Why shouldn't you do cold email, cold outreach, sending manual DMs? Is because you're leveraging technology in these two strategies the most. Okay, you're leveraging code and you're leveraging media, which is you want to get leverage. If you want to get rich without taking 50, 60 years, you need to implement as much leverage as you can into your business. And these two strategies are the best ways, the most leveraged ways of getting eyeballs, of getting attention on your business. Okay, so that was the first thing. The first thing you need to focus on is getting attention. Once again, if nobody knows who you are, your offer, your marketing, your systems, what softwares you use, none of that other shit matters. Okay. After you've dealt with attention, once you've got that in place, the next thing you need to focus on is building an ecosystem of leads. You need to centralize / pool your leads in an ecosystem. The reason for this is so that you can nurture / provide value to them over a long period of time. Not every lead is ready to buy right now. So having a mechanism to group and provide value to them is a great way to build trust and get them to buy down the line. And so what are the 3 best best ways to centralize your leads in one place. It's one, a community. This is my personal favorite because if you run a community, if you own a community, regardless of what platform, Discord, people are saying WhatsApp is good now, School, regardless of what platform, if you run a community, you're viewed as the authority figure and you have the most optimization controls over the community. Okay, you can post whenever you want. You can control the community. You can make call to actions. Opposed to these other ones, these ones aren't bad. Actually, all these play hand in hand. But I'd say just leverage these two to get all your leads into a community. Because a community is where you have the most control. Opposed to an email list where you're limited by just sending an email daily at most. If you don't want to burn your audience out. But so you have community, you have email list, and you have an audience. Okay, definitely implement a little bit of all three of these strategies, but I'd say leverage these two to get them into your community. Okay, if you have people on your YouTube and your call to actions to your community, then you can nurture them in your community over a long period of time and make call to actions when the time is right. Okay, you have to be careful when it comes to making call to actions. If you make too many call to actions, you burn your audience out. Okay, so that's something that you need to definitely keep an eye on. But here's basically what a high level overview of why centralizing all your leads in one ecosystem is a hack. First of all, you want to get attention on your offer, your business, on your personal brand by educating your leads. Okay, get them to watch a YouTube video, consume some content over what your offer is. Maybe why create desire. Okay, why is your offer? Why is this opportunity the best? Create desire within them and educate them at the same time. So you're being viewed as an authority figure. At the same time, they're getting educated on the opportunity you're presenting at hand. From there, you want to centralize all your leads in one place. So ideally, either an email list or a community. I'd say definitely go with the community. And then from there, you want to nurture them in there. Okay, like I said, not everyone is ready to buy right now. So everyone needs to be nurtured, and everyone has their own time, their own pace as to when they're ready to buy from you. Okay, not everyone's gonna buy. Okay, but the more people you can get, the more people you're nurturing, the more people are going to eventually buy. Okay, so you get attention, centralize your leads, and nurture them in this centralized ecosystem. From there, you make a call to action and you host a conversion event. I'm going to go over conversion events later in this video later on. But basically what a conversion event is you want to have a predictable way of knowing when people are going to buy from you. And so what you can do is maybe one to two times per month, you host a conversion event. And I'm going to walk you through how that works. And so this is basically, I'm going to walk you through a simple community funnel and what that looks like and, the benefits of having it in your business. So the first part of the community funnel is getting attention. Once again, generating leads and getting eyeballs on your business. Like I'm going to repeat it, content and ads is the best way to do this, specifically YouTube and meta ads. The reason why YouTube is the best is because this is where your audience spends the most time with you and you have the biggest opportunity to educate and provide value to your audience. And then when it comes to meta just in my opinion has the most data. They have the best AI. So back then, if you wanted to run ads, maybe a few years back, you had to kind of know how to operate within the ads manager, which controls to do, how to select your audience, how to pick the right targeting. But now their AI is so good where you simply upload a good creative and you state who it's for, they're going to put it right in front of your prospect. Okay, it's insane. So you need to generate leads. From there, you need to centralize all your leads in one place. Like I said, I recommend either a school group or some sort of community. And then from there, you as soon as they join, you want to get them to consume some sort of educational asset, some sort of educational piece of content. You get them to watch that, and then so this way they're higher intent. You have only high intent leads who are joining. Get them to answer some membership questions. Basically get them to give you their email, their phone number, and also have a qualifying question. So how much money are they making? Are they interested in the opportunity that you're presenting them? You want to be collecting their data so you can take them off the platform, do email marketing, also reach out to them by phone call, ideally within 5 minutes, either by text message or phone call. Okay, so you want to contact them within 5 minutes, and you can also add them to an email list so you can just keep nurturing them long term. And also have a qualifying question: how much money are they making, or are they interested in the opportunity that you're presenting to them? Okay, so that's a qualification part of getting them into your group. Once they're qualified, once they're accepted into your group, you want to have an intro post. This way, you just want to increase engagement within your community. Have them introduce themselves. Give them the introduction post. Maybe they can post a picture of their desktop. Guide them on what to do next. So whether you have some sort of asset or some sort of video or content that you want them to do next, tell them to do it. Have them add you as a friend. So Specifically on Facebook, when you have people on your friends list, it's leveraged because that way you're always popping up, as a story. They're always seeing your content. You can reach out to them easily. So depending on what platform, this is going to vary from platform to platform. Some people have their communities on Discord, some people have them on School, but just keep them consuming your content. Okay, tell them to include a pic of themselves, their desktop, and also you can tag new members and then introduction post. This is simply a mechanism to increase engagement within the community. That's the whole purpose of it. And also incentivizing people to engage more. Next thing you need to do is you need to provide value to your community. Okay, you don't want to have a quantity over quality mindset when it comes to your community. You want to be providing value, but you do not want to be burning your audience out, especially if you're sending emails in your community. If someone's receiving an email from your community every day and they're always getting notified of something and it's not valuable, they're just gonna leave. Okay, so you want to have a quality over quantity mindset. Okay, so when it comes to the cadence, I recommend Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or maybe just 2 to 3 times per week. It doesn't matter what days. Maybe weekdays people are more active, or maybe weekends people are more active, depending on what type of people you're marketing. But have a quality over quantity cadence. Okay, that's the main overview of that. When it comes to types of content, have a weekly, and this is just some content ideas of different things you can post. You can do something like a weekly value post, so maybe a longer asset where you help your audience overcome objections. When you create your content, what you can do is as you hop on more calls and you gather more data from your audience, you can see what type of objections and what are the objections and main concerns they're having as to why they're not taking you up in your offer and why they're not, paying you for your service. And so what you can do is you can take those objections, create a long list of objections, and create content that solves those objections and post them in your community. So you're handling those objections with your content and you're handling them beforehand before they even hop on a call with you. Okay, so you can do that. Weekly question posts just incentivize people to engage, and also just insightful things, maybe some testimonials, social proof. Social proof is very important. I'd say put that in the beginning, put that at the top of your community, pin it. If the platform allows you to pin things, pin it at the top of your community so people know, ideally, that people just like them can actually make it, and this thing actually works, whatever opportunity you're presenting to them. You can post things like tweets, questions, Bible videos, short paragraphs. Just mix it up, keep it interesting, and ideally just provide as much value as possible. The number one reason why most people, why most communities fail is because of lack of value. Okay, but at the same time, do not burn them out. Don't always just be spamming their emails with random stuff. Okay, quality over quantity. And so that is how you provide value to your community. The next thing we need to do is we need to convert them. Okay, and the way we do that is by making a call to action. And there's three different types of ways you can convert people in your community. The first is simply having a setter reach out to them, and I'm going to actually walk you through the Convo workflow later in this video. It's up here, but just having a setter reach out to them, asking what type of problems they're facing, identifying inefficiencies within their business, providing value, and then eventually booking them on a call. The next is a one-to-many sales call. I'm going to talk about this also. All this is going to be talked about in this next section, which is conversion events. But essentially what a one-to-many sales call is you position it either as a webinar, a masterclass, some sort of one-time event, ideally live. You want to do it live, where you get either 50, 100, 200, 300 people all on one live call, where you provide a bunch of value, create desire, and then pitch them at the end on your offer. Okay, so instead of doing a normal sales call is a one-on-one sales call. Okay, where you're selling when you're on the call with one person and you're selling them. A one-to-many sales call is you have, let's say, 300 people on one call and you're pitching them all at the same time. This is leverage. You're getting 300 times the output for the same amount of time and effort spent on one call. Okay, ideally, you have to create materials. You have to actually make it valuable. You don't want to just bullshit your way through the webinar. You want to actually make it good so people actually want to take you up in your offer. But this is leverage. Okay, so that's another way you can convert people, and you can do this like one time a month, once every 2 months. And so that way you have a predictable way of knowing when people are going to buy from you. And the next thing is a sales asset. So what you can do is you can do something called some people call them two-step posts, some people call them honeypot posts. Essentially all it is you make a post in your community and say, hey, let's say about how to create content. So let's say you make a post about content in your community and say, hey, I just created a 20-page Google Doc going over how to create content from A to Z. Okay, if you want it, please comment content and we'll send it to you. And so what you do is you create an asset, you create a lead magnet, and you post in your community that you have this lead magnet that you want to give people. They need a comment a specific keyword to get it. And for everyone that comments, you reach out to them, you send them the assets, you're providing them value by sending the asset, you ask them a few questions in DMs, and if they're qualified, you hop on a call with them, you get them to book a call. So this way you're creating a lead magnet, you qualify, or you create intent, so people who comment, they've higher intent, they want the lead magnet, you reach out to the people who commented, and you book them on a call. Okay, and so these are 3 different ways you can convert people predictably. Okay, and so from there, you do sales. I already covered one-to-many sales, one-on-one sales. You have a sales call. You qualify them, identify problems, and then eventually show them why your service, why your offer is the right solution for them. Have sales call, and you turn them into a client. And so that is literally the entire community funnel. It's the best way, just getting attention at the top. And the rest of this is one big mechanism, one big machine to nurture and provide value to your community in one centralized ecosystem over a long period of time. And, especially nowadays where everyone's running ads, you have so many marketers making crazy guarantees. You need to provide, people need to be provided a lot more value in order to trust you. We're in a trust recession, and this is probably the best way, the best value mechanism you can implement into your business to get people to trust you and view you as an authority figure trying to help them, not a marketer trying to sell to them. Huge difference, huge difference. And so the last factor, we already kind of touched on it a bit, but it's having a systemized way of converting leads. If you don't have a predictable system / process of converting leads, then you'll never know where your next dollar will come from. You need to systemize the process of taking leads from your ecosystem and converting them into customers, especially now as the market loses its trust. The market losing its trust, it correlates exactly with longer sales cycles. So as there's less trust in the market, the sales cycles will get longer. And this means you always need to have some sort of conversion event or some sort of predictable process or some sort of predictable way of getting people to hand you their money to convert, essentially. And so there's 2 main ways. It's reaching out to every lead. So this is for every person that joins your community that opts into your funnel. You want to reach out to them, contact them within ideally 5 minutes, either calling them or texting them. Mainly calling them definitely has a higher chance of them picking up and actually booking on a call, but texting them, if you're scared of calling people or something, then I guess that works also. But you want to reach out to every lead, ideally in the DMs. This is the workflow you want to follow. So you want to have an opening message, a message that gets a pretty good reply rate, depending on which market you're in. If you're doing cold DMs to like online coaches, you're probably gonna get like 0.1% reply rate. It's very saturated now. But if you're reaching out to warm prospects in your community, probably 30-40% opening rate, reply rate. So you send opening messages. You want to ask them, are they having any inefficiencies in their business, whether it's getting leads, whether it's sales. Identify an inefficiency, a problem they're having in their business. Once you've done that, you can either help provide value or send some sort of asset to help them solve this problem. So you're providing value to them upfront and you're helping them solve a problem for free. Okay, so now at this point they feel indebted to you. You just solved the problem, you just provided value for free. Now this is where you offer to book a call. You can position this as a 15-minute value call, an implementation call, discovery call, whatever you want to position it as. But at this point you've provided value and now they feel indebted to you, so you want to pitch them on a call and they're more than likely going to hop on the call with you. So that's a Convo workflow. That's a high level overview. It's very simple. The next way of you systemizing the way of you converting leads is having conversion events, and there's 2 main ways you can do it. I already touched on both of these, but I'm going to dive deeper into them. It's having a webinar and also specific sales assets with call to action. So when it comes to the webinar, as the market loses its trust and becomes more sophisticated, sales cycles become longer and more unpredictable. Having a consistent conversion event is a powerful mechanism to offset the current market conditions. The reason why webinars are so effective is because of leverage. Most agency owners hop on an hour-long sales call with a prospect to get a shot at closing a deal. With webinars, you hop on a Zoom with 100 to 300 people, maybe less, maybe more, depends on your marketing and your audience or whatever. So you spend 1 to 2 hours providing free value and then 20 to 30 minutes pitching your offer. You can get 100x the output from spending a few more hours on a call with your audience, and this is the power of one-to-many selling. I already compared the one-on-one selling and one-to-many selling. This is the power and the leverage that comes with one-to-many selling. And this isn't an event you can only hold once. It's not like the universe only lets you hold one webinar and you're banned from doing them ever again. No, you can repeat it as many times as you'd like, but you need to keep in mind, you want to make sure you're not burning your audience out by doing a daily webinar, okay? Because then nobody's going to hop on it every day and it's not going to be as effective. People often host weekly or monthly workshops. Workshops is just another way for webinar. You can brand it however you want, position it however you want, which is a good way to add a predictable conversion event to your business, okay? This is a very predictable and a very leveraged way of converting people into customers. The next one is sales assets with call to action. instructions, creating a sales asset, so either a VSL or making the post that I talked about earlier in your community, the 2-step or the honeypot post with a call to action, is one of the best ways to get warm prospects on a call. Create an educational asset, get prospects to consume it, offer to hop on a call. The only ones that will book a call are the ones that already know who you do, what you do, and who you are, and they're ready to buy. Okay. The problem with nowadays, especially with running direct response ads, is these people, they don't know who you are. You're hopping on calls with people who have no idea who you are, what you do, what you sell. They don't trust you. They don't know if you can actually, get results, unless you have case studies or whatever, I guess. But the thing with getting people to consume marketing or consume content before the call, specifically content where you sell them on your process and you handle any objections before the call, is that these people already know who you are, what you do, and they're ready to buy from you. Okay. If you show them your entire process, your entire offer, your case studies, handle all their objections before they even hop on the call, and they still show up, then what is the probability, what is the chance that they won't buy from you? Okay, it's a lot lower than if they're just some random person who clicked on an ad because you put a crazy guarantee, and they don't even know who you are or what you do. They didn't know you exist. Okay, so this is the difference. This is the power of creating content, creating sales assets, and getting people to consume content before the call. Okay, so that was the video. It's very straightforward. You don't have to have a million different systems, a million different CRMs to scale to 50, 100K per month. These are the three main factors, the three main principles you need to have to scale your agency to 5-6 figures per month. Okay, and so if you got any value from this video, the first link in the description is my AI Scaling Specialist School community. It's completely for free. We're providing insights on how to scale your agency by selling AI infrastructure offers. Hundreds of entrepreneurs in there who all want to take a big piece of this huge, larger than life trend, which is AI. So first link in the description. I'm always active in there. If you want direct access to me, just join that community, and I'll see you on the inside. Bye.